we have the 4-hour price chart for Broadcom Incorporated, stock ticker AVGO. So as we can see here, the stock is making a very impressive rally higher here. We have posted some near-term lows after a very steep descent previously, but the current price action is showing 163.19 is the current price level, and this is a very substantial reversal here from these 128.50 lows, which were posted during the August 5 trading session. So as we can see here, we really do need to take a step back a bit and make a better assessment of what actually has gone on here, because there is a severe amount of damage that has been done to this price chart. As we can see in this descent lower, we essentially broke through every major Fibonacci support zone, as well as every major exponential moving average. So this does suggest that the stock had a tremendous amount of selling pressure that was focused on it previously. And this does suggest that investors could be a bit cautious here going forward due to the fact that similar types of circumstances could occur once again. So if we're looking at the current price action, we can see that this recent move higher, we've seen a little bit of a price gap here. This is the 4-hour chart, so it's not exactly a short-term time frame. And this does show a bit of gapping activity. So if we were to pull down to the 15-minute chart, you would see a bit more of a price gap here. But we're going to stay on the 4-hour chart for the moment, because we do need to take a longer term assessment given the fact that so much damage was done to the chart previously. So as we can see here, we are currently trading above the prior resistance zone at 161.30, which was posted during the July 31 trading session. Most of this activity currently is coming as a result of the fact that share prices have gapped higher. So this is a little bit of a volatile moment here. As we can see previously, the prior two trading periods here and the previous close for the prior trading period both came in below this 161.30 level. As we started this trading session, we did see a gap higher. So this does tell us that markets were attempting to make this lower close, but as prices, as we return to trading today, market prices were forced above this area, and we did see a surge higher. The main issue that I have with this movement and this price gap is simply the fact that trading volumes here are continuing to diminish, which is a little bit surprising. I think that what we're starting to see here is a bit of profit taking within this shorter term rally that we're seeing. So I do think that this warrants a bit of caution at current levels. It is very significant that we have broken above this 161.30 level. This is a very major area of resistance. And then in addition to that, as you can see here, the share price is now trading well above its entire exponential moving average cluster. In addition to that, if we drill in here a bit, we can see that all four of the major moving averages here are pointed in the upward direction. The blue line here, the 200 period exponential moving average, does look a bit flat. This isn't a very impressive slope in the upward direction, but we can start to see shorter term moving averages that do look much more impressive in nature. Specifically, we can look at this yellow line here, which is the 20 period exponential moving average on the 4-hour chart. And then in addition to that, the 50 period exponential moving average is clearly crossing above the 100 period EMA, which is the purple line. So there are some positive signals here. But one thing that really, to me, kind of flashes a warning signal here is the fact that trading volumes are starting to diminish. Not totally something that you would expect here, given the fact that the stock is posting such a strong reversal higher. You might think, normally you might think that the stock is reversing because people are starting to buy in at these prior lows right around 130. This was a major low previously. We did actually see a break to the downside, and I do want to talk about that in a moment. But one thing that does concern me about this recent rally is the fact that trading volumes are really not confirming these upper levels here. In addition to that, you've also got a relative strength index reading on this time frame, which is starting to move into overbought territory. We're not quite there yet. We're trading at roughly 65 in the relative strength index on the 4-hour price chart. So we're not exactly overbought just yet, and this does suggest that we could continue to move higher. But overall, this is starting to look a bit overextended, and I really don't like the fact that trading volumes here are starting to diminish. So to me, what this really points to is profit taking within this shorter term price move higher. So at the very least, I think that we could start to see a period of consolidation, and we're now at risk of filling this gap here to the downside, given the fact that the stock posted this higher open, and we now have a price gap here that is showing on the charts. This is not a huge price gap on the 4-hour time frame. We're looking at roughly $2 in gapping activity here. So it's not a huge price gap. But the risk here is that, if we do start to see prices move back into this territory, that this price gap is going to need to be filled. And then this could halt some of the positive momentum that we're currently seeing. So yes, this is a very strong move to the top side. It shows a very strong reversal point here from this prior move lower. As we can see here, this was a very substantial move lower, and we actually broke below these prior lows. I do need to address that as well, because this 128.50 level, which posted during the August 5 trading session, is below the prior lows, which were posted during the beginning of June 2024. So this is a very significant break lower, but I would have to consider this to be a false breakout to the downside, because we did see such a strong reversal point that followed. And specifically, you have to point to the fact that resistance levels right around 149.50 were also broken. So if you see a major reversal like this and a break of prior resistance zones, you do have to start to consider these moves to the downside as being a false breakout to the downside. So, anybody that's adopting sort of a breakout type of strategy where you sell breaks of support or buy breaks of resistance, this is an example where that type of strategy would not have worked. This strategy would have been stopped out very quickly. Anybody that's buying in at roughly 129 or right around there, because, we can say that, 130 broke, that position would have been underwater very quickly. Breakout strategies do work often. There's nothing wrong with adopting that type of strategy, but as we can see here, this would be an example where a very tight stop loss would have been needed in order to avoid losses. So as things currently stand, we're going to have to start to, in our next assessments of this stock, we're going to have to start to assess this most recent price move to the top side. This is going to start to become the most dominant bull wave here and the most dominant trend action. So in the following videos, we will be looking more closely and more in depth at this recent trend movement higher. So here's the current market analysis for Broadcom Incorporated, stock ticker AVGO. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership and start trading stocks with the pros.